Dr. Elena Vasquez pressed her palm against the laboratory window, watching the last transport shuttle disappear into the crimson horizon. Mars Colony 7 had been humanity's crown jewel, 3 million souls thriving in crystalline biodomes beneath alien skies. Now it was a tomb, silenced by the Kepler plague in 72 hours. "The quantum resonance readings are impossible," muttered her colleague, Dr. James Chen, hunched over the atmospheric monitoring station. "Every instrument shows the same thing, but it can't be real." Elena turned from the window, her reflection ghosting across the reinforced glass. Outside, Earth's sky shimmered with an opalescent quality she'd never witnessed in her 40 years of atmospheric research. "Show me the data again." Chen's fingers danced across the holographic interface, projecting three-dimensional models into the air between them. "Look at this. The ionosphere is restructuring itself. Not random electromagnetic disturbances. Pattern formation. Complex, deliberate pattern formation." The data cascaded before them in streams of light. Where once Earth's upper atmosphere had been a chaotic dance of charged particles and solar radiation, now geometric structures emerged, crystalline formations that pulsed with bioluminescent rhythms. "It started exactly 48 hours after we received Mars Colony's final transmission," Elena whispered, studying the temporal correlation. "When we knew they were all dead." Chen nodded grimly. 7 billion people learned about the extinction simultaneously. The collective grief response registered on seismographs worldwide. But this, he gestured at the impossible sky data. This suggests something far more extraordinary. Through the window, the afternoon sun cast strange shadows. The sky itself seemed to breathe, its blue depths swelling and contracting with an almost pulmonary rhythm. Citizens worldwide had reported the phenomenon, some claiming they could hear whispers in the wind, others insisting they felt observed by benevolent eyes. "The neural mapping satellites detected it first," Elena said, pulling up another data stream. "Synaptic pattern echoes in the magnetosphere, as if Earth's electromagnetic field is mimicking human brain activity." "Gaia hypothesis taken to its logical extreme," Chen mused. "But this isn't metaphor. The planet is literally developing a nervous system." Their research station, perched high in the Andes Mountains, provided an unobstructed view of the transformation. What had begun as subtle atmospheric anomalies now manifested as visible changes in sky topology. Clouds arranged themselves in neural network configurations. Aurora patterns traced synaptic pathways across the polar regions, even in broad daylight. "The quantum entanglement readings suggest something even more profound," Elena said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Remember the old experiments about plants responding to human emotions? Baxter's work in the 1960s? Chen's eyes widened with understanding. "You're suggesting the planet itself is quantum entangled with human consciousness?" "Not suggesting, proving." Elena's fingers trembled as she accessed the classified data stream. "NASA's been monitoring this for weeks, but keeping it quiet to prevent panic. Every major population center shows identical quantum signature fluctuations. When people grieve collectively, the atmospheric patterns respond instantaneously. When they hope, the patterns brighten. When they fear." Outside their window, the sky darkened, as if responding to her words. Dark neural pathways spread across the heavens like storm clouds, but with too much purpose to be meteorological. "The implications are staggering," Chen breathed. "If Earth is developing consciousness in response to human emotional states, then we're not just inhabitants anymore. We're components of a larger mind." Elena pulled up the most recent readings from Mars. The quantum signatures extended even there before the colony died. 37 million miles away, and Mars showed the same neural pattern formations in its thin atmosphere. As if consciousness isn't limited by physical proximity," Chen finished. Quantum entanglement operates instantaneously across any distance. The realization hit them simultaneously. Humanity had mourned Mars Colony 7 as extinct. But what if death meant something different in a quantum-entangled system? What if consciousness, once established, became a permanent feature of local space-time? Above them, the sky pulsed with renewed vigor. The neural pathways brightened, and for a moment, both scientists could swear they heard something, not quite voices, but the impression of voices. Familiar cadences, known laughter, the acoustic shadows of 3 million souls. "They're not gone," Elena whispered, tears streaming down her face. "They've become part of the sky itself." Chen nodded, understanding flooding through him. "And so will we, eventually. Earth isn't just developing consciousness. It's developing continuity of consciousness, a form of technological immortality we never anticipated." The sky above them shimmered with what could only be described as joy. Across the world, other research stations would be detecting the same phenomenon. Humanity had always feared death, but perhaps they'd been thinking too small. Perhaps consciousness, once emerged, was too precious for the universe to waste. As night fell, the stars themselves began to pulse in familiar patterns. The cosmos, it seemed, had been waiting patiently for Earth to join a much larger conversation. Elena and Chen stood at their window, no longer mere observers, but participants in humanity's next evolutionary leap. Above them, the sky had become human, and humanity had become infinite. In the distance, Mars glowed with a light that had nothing to do with reflected sunlight.